Ladies and gentlemen, we have just 2 weeks to go in the 2016 regular season. Time flies when you're having fun, especially when you're winning. I'm Brian Milam, once again, the head coach of the Transy Pioneers, Brian Lane. I love winning. It's like better than losing.
It is.
And you guys are starting to pick it up right when you need to.
Don't you love the ebb and flows of a
I don't.
season?
Sometimes.
Yeah, the flows more
Yes.
than the ebbs. But early in the year, there were a couple different points where we said, you know what, if we can just get over the hump a little bit and really start doing the things that we were talking about and the way we were practicing, things could get on a roll. And certainly winning 8 of the last 11 has been a good ebb and flow.
Sure.
So to speak.
You mentioned the ebbs, and you know, looking so much forward to getting that time off during Christmas and the holidays. And we know by now, if you've watched the show, Transy hit with injury after injury after injury after this, that, and you've weathered the storm.
Right.
And really done, I think, better than I thought you were going to do.
Right. When you lose a key player like Boshu, first game of the new year, January, at Rose-Hulman, and then his backup Simon Christian, then his backup Derek Jeffries, and Tim Bickle's over on the sidelines with a concussion, and you're saying, what the heck is going on? Going into that Rose-Hulman game, I thought we could win the league.
Yeah.
And with that record that we were at, we played a really tough schedule, all that stuff. But how our guys have really stepped up and how they've understood, come together, how they've taken it as a personal challenge to do the things, not from a coach saying this is what we need. I mean, they're getting on each other.
Right.
And they're demanding of each other, and that ownership that has happened in this team by our players was something that I'm really proud of.
It's a sign of a young team that is maturing and maturing at the right time. When we come back, we get straight to the highlights as Transy picks up 2 huge wins, one on the road, and we'll talk about both of those games coming up. Transy will finish the season with a flurry of home games. Now, last week, the Bluffton Beavers, the Purple People Eaters, came to the Beck Center, and this was a ball game that it was hard for me to explain because you got out to the good little lead, but never could totally put them away. They kind of hung around for a while.
They've got some excellent shooters. Their post player was a preseason All-American. Tim Bickle, it's good to have him back playing with a lot of energy. Parker has really stepped up big for us and has made some big time shots. Alex Jones, man, he is a tough guy to guard, but when he distributes to Lowell Gordon, it's on him. Since Lowell Gordon began starting, we're 8-3.
Yeah, how about that?
11 games. He has 8 wins under his belt.
That's not too bad for a guy who really had to earn his playing time.
He did, and when you get the opportunity, everybody gets an opportunity, and right there, again, he steps up and helps get us over the hump.
Alex Jones has been a terror for the opposition lately, and we saw just a moment ago how he deflected the pass to himself, readjusted in the air. He is, for my money, he could be, if you guys were to somehow win this conference in the last couple of weeks, I don't see why he's not a Player of the Year contender.
He's picked it up. We always knew that he was really good offensively, and one of those guys that can get his own shot. But he has been really a catalyst for not only him scoring, but helping other guys score. When you have a Lowell Gordon out there in the corner and people are staying out on him right there, that guy's staying out on Lowell, so Alex is able to get to the basket. Lowell's been a perfect complement for Alex, but being strong, Alex all-conference player, Parker Stansbury's all-conference. Cooper has a chance to be freshman of the year in the league.
On cue.
Nice timing. But we've got some other guys that have picked up their game and percentage-wise just gotten better and better. Rob Dents, Tim Bickle. You're looking at a team that really is gelling at the right time, and things that, as a coach, all you can ask for is and it wasn't like this at the beginning of the year.
Right.
This was a team that had to evolve, and they had to understand. But there was a point. There was a point right there in January where I think the light switch went, the light bulb went off, and they understood, hey, we can be a good team. We kept saying, we can be a good team, we can be a good team, but Lord, we have to do these things to do it. When I see Bo Shue sitting behind the bench with his arms crossed, that's frustrating because he was such a big part of it. And when you go out with injury and all those guys that that's tough. And when you see your team winning, when you go out, and I know not for 1 second has he questioned, well, heck, was I the reason? Like, no, you weren't the reason.
No.
What guys had to do, they had to understand that, hey, this is my opportunity. I have to step up for our season to go the way that we need it to go. I have to do more. And guys are being more vocal, and guys are being more energetic in practice. And the practice plans that I stopped doing in the team
best move of the year.
every practice. I mean, I just show up for practice and blow the whistle and say, okay, let's do what you all said we're going to do.
In that game with Bluffton, 4 guys in double figures, led by Alex Jones, who had 21, but Parker Stansberry had a double-double, 18 points, 12 boards, and just to finish off the double-figure scores, Cooper Theobald, 14. Robert Dents, 10 points, and that's huge.
Big.
Yeah, that is huge for this ball club. When we come back, we've got more basketball as Transy went on the road to Mount St. Joseph, who's the #1 team in the conference. This one is a down-to-the-wire thriller. Mount St. Joe's, the #1 team in the Heartland Conference for the majority of this year, if not the entire season. You went on the road, and a game that I stayed up earlier this week to the wee hours of the morning watching the replay of this. What a start by you guys. First off, it was a game, we spoke earlier, of ebbs and flows. You get out to the bigger lead, and then you go dry. But you got out to the good start.
Got off to a good start. We talked specifically to Robert and Tim about helping us inside with being really a whole lot more active, and they certainly came to play. Mount St. Joe, very, very disciplined team. Offensively, they scored inside the 5 seconds on the shot clock 4 or 5 times. A lot of times when teams get to 8, 7, 6 and people panic, I mean, they're just like starting their offense at 6 seconds. And but they started, we were up 3. They started pressing. They went on a 10-0 run. We called timeout. We had to go small in this game because we got down. All of a sudden, the 2 guys that I've talked to, Dents and Bickle, all of a sudden they're on the bench. And Cooper Theobald in this game really took over. Alex, Parker struggled in the first half. We didn't get him but 2 shots in the first half. But once we were able to spread them out a little bit, we were able to get a lot of drives in. Big 3 there by Lowell Gordon to cut it to inside double digits. We're down 13 with 8.5 minutes.
Amazing.
Okay? Down 13, 8.5 minutes. I remember at the being around 9 timeout, talking about how much we need to fight, how we needed to battle. I said, if we're gonna go down, we have to go down battling. And I tell you what, if we go down battling, we're gonna win the game. And amazingly, we got stops on the other end. They stopped attacking offensively, trying to get that clock to go faster and faster and get the game over with. And we were able to press. We were able to trap. Thought we got them out of rhythm. One of those the old right in the
the brick goes down. Right. But this 3 by Alex Jones gave you a 63-62 lead with under 18, 17 seconds to go. They're called timeout, and Cooper Theobald owned the free throw stripe, 14 of 14.
14 of 14. He is really hard to guard when he gets going downhill, as we say, right at the basket, straight line drives. The only way you can stop him is if you jump over and guess right. We were trying to foul.
That's twice, man.
I know. And we practiced it, and we did foul, but we just didn't foul hard enough at that time, and they got off a good look. That would what we had to do there. Cooper had 4 fouls, so we had to move him to the second line of defense, and certainly worked out.
Taking a look at the Heartland Conference standings coming into this weekend, front page news, as always, Transy right in the thick of things. 2 games separate the top 6 teams in the conference with 4 games left to play.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it is. And when you put Manchester in, they are still mathematically alive entering this weekend and still alive. So there are. You've got 7 teams trying for 6 spots, so it's going to go down to the final weekend of the season. But to get a road win against your old boy, Toby, after you saw him last weekend, which,
right?
You know,
it was great to have him.
Thanks for being back.
But the thing that you see there, we have a win over Mount, who's won. We have another win over Defiance, who's tied with Mount. So late in the season, if we can continue to take care of business, especially home this week on Wednesday and then senior day on Saturday, those tiebreakers really come into play late,
sure.
You know, as we're looking for the seed in the conference tournament.
So hopefully in about 2 weeks we don't have to worry about what former EKU football coach Dean Hood would call Japanese math. We can just worry about Transy being at the top spot of the conference. We've got our flashback segment. When we come back, we go back about 15 years. That's next. Before we get to our flashback segment, I want to just one more note on the Mount St. Joseph win. Transy 22 of 25 from the free throw line. The homestanding MSJ club only 7 made free throws. When you triple the free throws, that's a great recipe for a win, man.
Absolutely, and we mixed up the zones really well. We were able to mix up different types of man. They play a very patient style of offense, and to keep them off balance and not give up threes. I mean, defend the 3, and we really did a great job defending the free throws. Those 2, you know, anytime you can do that, you can win.
Well, you're smiling, man. This is nice. Cooper Theobald had 26 to lead the way for Transy last week. Now, time for our flashback segment. You've heard of great scorers. Well, Transy has one right here. We go back in time to February of 2000.
Mills gets free on the drive.
You could call Collier Mills Mr. Everything this season. He leads the team in just about every category: scoring, rebounding, assists, and block shots. The only class he doesn't dominate is steals, and he's second in that division.
As a captain, I guess it's kind of my role to step up and not only be a leader on the floor, but off the floor and be a vocal leader. And if they want to look up to me, that's fine.
Collier just passed Eric Lidke as the team's leading scorer. Right now, Collier pours in about 17 points a game. And if he averages 12 or more points over the last 19 games, Collier will join the 1,000-point club as a junior.
We've had some juniors that have done it. Vince Pingham, for instance, and Daniel Swatowski and some others have joined as junior. You have to play a lot as a freshman, really, to make it as a junior. And usually those guys that do make it as juniors are usually starters. And I think Collier came off the bench for us as a freshman. But played quite a bit.
Collier attributes all his success to his work in the off-season, and some advice from big brother Cameron doesn't hurt.
So do you ever get any encouraging words from big brother Cameron?
Yeah, a few. He stays so busy. He makes it most of my games, but we normally don't talk about basketball because we have so much of it, and it's most of our lives, and it was his, and he's done, so he tries to stay away as much as he can.
So do y'all ever have any little contests, you know, one-on-one?
No, I think he's scared. He's a little out of shape now, so he doesn't like to play.
So now it's up to Collier to keep the Mills name hot on the hardwood. In Lexington, Suzanne Farmer, 27 Sports First.
So Collier Mills, Who do you go with? Which of the Mills boys do you go? They both could fill it up.
No, Collier. Cameron goes with Collier.
Right.
It's really interesting. You have Collier, that was the #1 player his senior year, National Player of the Year at Transylvania, and as Cameron says, 2 or 3 times better than I was, and he's playing at the University of Kentucky. Just a great person. Even more successful businessman here in town with Dunkin' Donuts, managing partner, and just growing. It's really exciting to see former Transylvania basketball players do so well. Collier,
if you're watching, we used to have a nice little set here, and he would, warm up the coffee. Dunkin' Donuts Play of the Week needs to come back. Just throwing it out there. When we come back, we continue, since it is Valentine's Day weekend, and hopefully you got your beautiful wife something besides towels from Terre Haute and soap from Terre Haute.
What day is that?
But Valentine's Day is coming up, obviously, or yesterday, but earlier in the week we talked to some of the guys about what they were getting their significant others. The things we talk about during the break that you will never hear. Someone missing a drone on 4th Street.
Found it.
Welcome back to the show. Before we get to the special Valentine's Day segment, which has become a cult classic, let's tell you about the Lady Pioneers, because last weekend, Transylvania's ladies upset 25th ranked Bluffton 65-57 at the Beck Center. Caitlin Smith, who is closing in, there she is right there, closing in on the all-time scoring mark at a game-high 30 points. Sean Kalani added 14. Deep three on cue.
Buckets.
Props to Rachel Cox. She had 11 rebounds, all defensive rebounds. That win clinched a berth in the upcoming Heartland Conference Tournament. The Lady Pios have scored more points than anybody in the conference, and entering this weekend just a game back of Bluffton and Rose-Hulman for the top spot in the Heartland Conference. Boy, Caitlin Smith just getting ready to, she's going to be the new all-time leading scorer. Dad applauds that. He likes to
I agree
hear
with
that.
him. She's fantastic.
Yeah, she is something else. So we will talk more about the Lady Pios next week. Now, the one segment that has just taken off over the last 4 years happens this weekend all the time. Yesterday and today, it's Valentine's Day weekend. We'll get to you in a minute. However, but we always get to the players and what they get their significant others for Valentine's Day, and it's always special to hear their answers.
I do not have any special plans. I'm not sure if my mother will be getting me anything or not. I have not gotten her anything. You know me.
Probably not going to be given any gifts this year, but I'll definitely be receiving a bunch.
From whom?
I don't know, variety.
No plans, but I gotta get some flowers for somebody. That's gonna be the plan to go to.
No names?
I can't say any names right now. Dooley told me best. You gotta keep it on the low.
Already told her since we just got married that it's gonna be a little light on the Valentine's gifts. Flower, card, maybe some candy. That's about it.
Be in a good mood for Valentine's Day and keep the woman happy, because happy wife, happy life. That's the saying. That's how it goes.
I have something special, but I got to keep it a secret. I can't let anybody know right now.
Oh, well, what's the secret? You can tell us. We're among friends here.
I don't know. It may get leaked out too quick. I can't share it right now. I got to keep it a secret.
This won't hit the air till about 12:55.
I got something special for Hannah Hurt. That's my girlfriend right now, but that's all I can say. That's all I can say.
That's your girlfriend right now?
Yes, sir. Well, I plan on keeping her, so.
The trans answer, it celebrates consumerism, you know, and I don't know if I believe in that.
So here with Alex Jones here at Transylvania University. What do you got going on this year differently than last year for Valentine's Day?
I actually had a significant other this year.
You do?
I do.
What's her name?
Rachel Bagnillo.
Very interesting. Last year, she was on my Valentine's Day shout-out, so my brother just backdoored me like that, man. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I guess she just picked a better man. In all honesty.
Interesting, very interesting. So what are you going to get for her?
I actually can't share that on the air.
Well, why is that?
She's the Brian Lane Show #1 fan, to be honest.
Interesting. Now, my own brother just backdoored me, man. I can't believe it.
So there you have it, another Valentine's Day special, courtesy of Transylvania basketball and Coach Brian Lane, who allows me to talk to his kids about personal items.
Just
and
never know what's going to come out.
My man Zeke. Always good to see Zeke. That will do it for this edition of Transy Basketball. We will see you at the Don Lane Court of the Beck Center soon. Have a good weekend.